And welcome to Technology Tap. I'm Professor Rod. In today's episode, we will go over questions on the CompTIA 1101 exam. Let's do this. All right, we're back. All right, so today we're going to go over CompTIA questions on the new 1101 exam. It's not really that new. It's already been out for 7 months, but last month, October 20th, it became the only exam that you can take. Previous to that, they ran the 1001 and the 1101 parallel, giving the students the opportunity to take the 1001 and the 1002. Because remember, in order to be A plus certified, you have to have both certifications, the 1101 and the 1102. So the change was made in October 20th, so you could only take now the Series 11 for the A plus. So you have the 1101 and the 1102. We'll go over 4 questions today. If you want to follow along on my website, you can go to professorjrod.com, and in the upper right hand corner, there's a tab for CompTIA questions. Scroll down to CompTIA A plus questions, and we're going to go over questions 9, 10, 11, and 12. So again, if you want to go to my website, professorjrod.com, you see a screen come up on the right-hand side. You see CompTIA questions. Click on that, scroll down to CompTIA A plus questions, and we're going over questions 9, 10, 11, and 12. So you can follow along with the podcast. All right. Question number 9. A user is experiencing email problems and explains to a technician that all emails with graphics or images do not display the graphics. Which of the following configurations will correct this behavior? A. Change the email settings in antivirus. B. Change the security settings of the email client. C. Change the firewall security settings. D. Change the email proxy settings. Or E. Change the trusted sites in the browser settings. One thing I've noticed in this one, I noticed that they give you a lot more choices, which is, to me, makes it a little bit more problematic as far as eliminating questions. But all right, let's take a look. So the user's having an email issue with graphics. So which one can we eliminate right off the bat? Well, you could probably eliminate change the email settings in antivirus because it doesn't have anything to do with that, right? Maybe change the trusted sites in the browser settings because that's more for websites, right? I read one user on an online forum actually gave a really, really good explanation what the answer is. This is what he wrote. I wish I wrote his name down if I could give him credit. But imagine you just received an email. He wrote on America Online. You click on the email and all you see is a blank white box followed by text. You can tell there's supposed to be more in the email, but for some reason it isn't appearing. At the top of the screen, you see a yellow ticker bar that states, would you like to download the content of this email? Once you click accept, all the images within the email begin to appear. This is what the question is referring to. And what this is a security setting within the email client. So the answer is B. He also continues to write, you can change the settings to allow it to download the contents of the email automatically. However, it is not recommended. That is, as it is a security risk. Yeah, so the answer is B. Change the security settings of the email client. I'm sure we've all experienced that, right? Where it asks you to, oh, do you want to download this stuff? Yep. All right. Question 10. A technician was called to check an unexpected clicking noise on a desktop that has become more frequent every time a video editing application is loaded. The system fans have been replaced, but the clicking noise remains. Diagnosis has been run on the video card. Which of the following should you do first? Now, this is an interesting one. So here's the answers. Again, there's 5 of them. A, replace the hard drive. B, replace the video card. C, do a system restore. D, perform a full data backup. And E, scan the system for viruses. And the key word here is first, which means you can do any of these is possible, but which one would you do first? Right? So the technician was called. He's hearing an unexpected clicking noise when they're using a video editing application. The system fans have been replaced, and diagnostics have been run on the video card. So, what is the one that you could eliminate right away is scan the system for viruses. That's not going to be it, right? So that's how. You left with replace the hard drive, replace the video card, do a system restore, and perform a full data backup. The next one you could probably eliminate is do a system restore. Because if I don't think a system restore is going to fix that clicking noise. It's a hardware issue, obviously, right? So you have replace the hard drive, replace the video card, and perform a full data backup. Now, a lot of you are not going to like this answer, right? But if you read any of the CompTIA literature, this is continuous, right? Before you do anything on a PC, CompTIA always says perform a full system backup. So the answer is D. The answer is D. Then you probably either replace the hard drive or replace the video card. Remember, it's first, right? Which of the following should the technician do first? So, and CompTIA is very big on that. Now, do you really do a full system backup? No, if you're going to do a system backup on any computer that you work on, you're never going to get your job done. That's, I know what CompTIA is trying to do, but I think some of the stuff that they do is a little bit unrealistic. You cannot perform a backup on every computer that you work on prior to working on, because you're never going to get anything done. But it's in the literature, so we have to go by that, right? It's kind of like when testing for your driver's license, right? They want you to put your hands on 10 and 2, right? But as soon as you drive, you do whatever you want. As soon as you get that license, you do whatever you want. All right. Number 11. An employee's mobile device no longer charges, and the employee believes that the battery is dead. A tech tests the mobile device and finds it would charge on a wireless charging pad, but when it's connected to the charging cable, it doesn't. But not when it's connected to a charging cable. Other devices can charge without any issue when the cable is used. Which of the following should the technician perform first to resolve the problem? Again, we see the word first. This one we have 4 choices. Clean out the charging port on the device, replace the mobile device battery, issue a new charging cable for the employee, send the device for service, and give an employee a loaner. Well, the device is working, so we can eliminate D right away. And it charges. The fact that it charges on the charging pad means that the battery is good. So you could also eliminate B. So you with A or C. The one that you would do first is A, clean out the charging port on the device. Obviously, that's what the problem is. If it's working on other devices, the clue on that is that it's working on other devices. If it's working on other devices and you can charge it on a charging pad, there's something wrong when you're plugging it in. And those things do get dirty. So you just have to go in there and clean it up. And you should be fine. All right. Last question. Question number 12. A Soho customer has recently experienced a major hurricane. The customer has no backups and has lost all data and the hardware associated with the company. The customer calls a contractor to assist in rebuilding the process and needs suggestions on the best way to prevent this from happening again. Which of the following recommendations should the contractor give to the customer? And it says select two. A, backup testing. B, cloud storage. C, local storage backups. D, data recovery. E, hot site. And F, waterproof devices. Now, there is one major sentence, right? Because I went over this with a class and they kind of like skipped this. The customer has no backup and has lost all data and hardware associated with the company, right? So no backup and no hardware. Those are your two things. When it says select two, those are the two issues. No backup, no hardware, right? Lost all data, lost all the hardware. So which one of these six will help you with that? Well, let's eliminate one, backup testing, right? Guy's not even doing backup, so backup testing is not going to help. That's out. You could actually eliminate local storage backups because of the hurricane, right? You don't want your data backed up locally, so that's out. The answer will be, and remember this too, is B, cloud storage, and E, hot site, right? And if those of you who don't know what a hot site is a place that a company rents. It's like a backup site where you can go and have all your equipment, like another site where your equipment is there and your data is there, and all you gotta pretty much have to do is move the personnel over, and you should be up in a couple of hours. Maybe you need to restore the data from the backup, but you have all the hardware there at the second site and internet connectivity and everything that you need. So you just might need to move over the personnel, or you might need to move, maybe restore data from the cloud, up-to-date data. So those are, but the hot sites, remember, hot sites are extremely expensive. So it's very rare you see a small company with a hot site because it's extremely expensive. Big companies, of course, companies that have to be 24/7, of course, but the normal Joe company, they won't have hot sites. They are just too expensive. All right, that was fun. If you like for me to do more, let me know. Professorjrod at gmail.com. I'm currently working on doing exams, practice exams for the 1101 and the 1102. When I have them ready, I'll let you guys know. I know some of you, my listeners, have asked for practice exams in the past. and I've sent it to you, and hopefully those have been helping you. But I'm working on the 1101 and 1102. Hopefully in another week, maybe during the Thanksgiving week, I'll be able to work on those since I'll be off from work, and I'll let you guys know. So I'm planning on doing another episode next week on Network Plus questions. So I should be able to give you an update then. All right, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope these questions helped you. And remember, the most important part in the CompTIA exam is what? Read the question. Until next time. This has been a production of Little Chacha Productions, art by Sarah, music by Jokin. If you'd like to email me, you can email me at professorjrod@gmail.com.